We are well set up today for painting in the park, but this cruiser design needs a little bit of work because we are dropping them and then they are just no good. So what we've done is we've taken our frigate, the support craft, spray painted them, primed them just black with that highlight of white to simulate our light source. And I'm just changing it up a little bit and seeing how it would look if we primed or if we dry brushed before the wash. Because it's always good to be just always experimenting. We will see how that turns out. If we can survive and not drop any today. Because they don't survive a drop. And we're just adding some pigment. Looks like we have lost a couple of his tiny fragile guns on top, which were not great. They were not a good design. They didn't even look very Warhammer. They were a bit too thin, a bit anime, a bit too Yamato, which I like. I like the Battleship Yamato, and I love the reimagining, the reboot a few years ago. I'm not sure when. And one day I would love to have a Yamato in my fleet, but it is a rather silly. It is a rather silly spaceship in a lot of ways. I think that's why it's endearing. And these being Warhammer, it shouldn't be. It's not supposed to be funny. It shouldn't look funny, and it shouldn't look like toys. I spent many years saying Warhammer's not toys, and then now Warhammer's got joy toys and whatever, which I have not gotten into. I never got into the Fun Pops, even though I appreciate what Funko Pop did for the local baseball stadium in their right next to their headquarters in Everett, Washington. So as time goes by, I'm slowly appreciating Funko Pop a little bit more, and it looks like we're gonna have to get a bit more red pigment going on our paint tray. One of the interesting things, one of the problems with painting outdoors is, boy, the paint dries nice and fast, which is great and it's lovely, but the paint dries really fast, so you have to be a little bit quicker, or at least I have to be. I'm finding myself having to be a little bit quicker than painting straight indoors. And we're just getting some pigment onto our brush, and we're gonna see just how it's really going to pop out after we've given it the red wash 2 days ago, and then yesterday we gave him the dark wash, which I think was straight black, even though you shouldn't shade with black. It's not the best. You should shade with a shade that's actually a shade, a color. Black is a value. Any color can be shaded down or lowered in its HSV. What's the word? Not luminance. It's the H, right? It's H value in HSV. Just thinking about different color theories. Hue value. hue, saturation, and value. That's how that goes. So yeah, any color can have a value that brings it down to black in darkness. So black isn't really a color, and it's a bad idea to use it for shading, even though I do all the time because it's quick, it's easy. But really, I should have gone with like a really deep dark brown or even a blue. But with these guys, they're such a complicated shape and color. You just want to go ahead and try to get that, what is the word? You want the details to pop. And the way we're doing that is with overloading it with color somewhat. Here we have a nice example of our original white light source turned out well, and we're going to see how with just a little bit of pigment, I put a lot of it right here, and then when it's the right consistency, which that isn't, let's just add a little bit more. When it's the right, not consistency so much as density of paint, I don't know, but that's going to pop very nicely, I think. And going a little bit too much on, oh yeah, we kind of ruined this one a bit with too much red, and we have lost all of our beautiful light source shading. But at least it's not pink anymore, which is great. But there's nothing wrong with a pink army. One of the very first times that I was playing Warhammer at Dragon Con way back, I lost to a pink army. I think they were elves. Yeah, I'd love to tell that story sometime. Maybe not today. Oh yes. And here we go. Nice little frigate, escort ship, and we just want to smack a little bit of red on him, just the tops. We are going to redesign these guys almost certainly to be less snappy, and the paint already, even after just a few minutes, has dried quite a bit already. What would happen if we just took a little bit of moisture and put that back in? Let's see. That really pops. A little bit much, but we're after speed. We're really speed painting these guys up, especially the smaller ships. And let's take some of that rich color and add it on here, because we're going to need it, I think. That is a lot of pigment, but we're gonna need it, and we're gonna bring the details out with another wash. So washes are our friend. Looks already nicely red instead of undersaturated and feeble. This is how it was appearing to me earlier. But yeah, we've already lost one of the most delicate wings and details on the front. So this model needs a little bit of work before it gets released onto my itch page for free download. And gotta work him out so that he's actually fun to paint. And what I'm thinking still is I might just go with a straight yellow dry brush, mimicking an airbrush on the back to capture that engine flare, even though I think a blue-white light would be better, but I think that people expect the yellow-orange glow. So we'll see how that goes. Yellow-orange feels more Warhammer to me. And I've gone in different order in washes and dry brushing on each one of these to see which is getting the better effect. Then I just have to remember. But yeah, I went a little heavy with the dry brush again and lost a lot of that great value change that we had underneath. So and that's the fault of the paint just being a little bit too dry. And now the problem is that this paint right here is going to be a little too wet. But the overall effect, I think, will be very, very nice when the whole fleet's together. This is not the best. I had tried to add a little bit of moisture, and he's going to look a lot better after he gets the red wash and the black wash. But it's going to take them a little while to dry. But thanks for joining me on this nice little journey. I think these guys are going to turn out okay, just in looks, but they're not practical playing pieces, so we are working on that. One thing I might do, since the flight stand that I downloaded off of Thingiverse, the BFG flight stand, every time it prints, I'm getting a strange warping on the bottom, and so I'm probably going to just come up with my own flight stand. And what I'd like is something that looks like a planet or a meteorite that it's resting on. What I'd really like to do is if I could somehow model orbital bombardment on a planet's surface about the size of that base, just a little tap. Not to scale or anything, but I think that might look nice. And you're not supposed to see the base, but if I can have bombs or lasers as the flight stand stick, I think that might work out okay. And just a few more washes. We have so many areas still that are primer white. We don't want to lose those because that's where the light source is, but we also want them to carry some pigment. And what we're going to do for the guns, we're just going to give them a little bit of our Sharpies. And they'll take a few layers. This one is about dead. But I think it will look really good when he's done. And for right now, we're just trying to put some pigment on his guns. And the Sharpie works really well, especially for things where a brush has a difficult time getting to. It's just too fragile. We're going to have to go back and really rethink these guys. And hopefully we'll have one left by the time we finish painting them. Well, thank you very much. And back to the drawing board, even though he turned out well. It's tempting to go ahead and try to just glue him, but he'll break again. It's no big loss. Until next time.